Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, a place where dreams take flight, with authentic storytelling, diverse perspectives and meaningful conversations, where global stories unite and bridges are built beyond all borders. Discover world-class education, entertainment, hope and inspiration. Together, we're building bridges worldwide. Subscribe to our channel, USA Global TV. Download our app, USA Global TV. Be our guest or join our team. Visit usaglobaltv.com. Thanks to our founder and executive producer, Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Music score by Yeffy Tang from Cloud Road Music. Voiceover artist Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. USA Global TV and Radio, your home for global connection. All rights reserved. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited.
Howdy, Brett O'Loughlin here. We're on the Wise Ones on the USA Global TV and Radio Network. It's a worldwide broadcast, live streaming TV. And so I should really open with good morning, good afternoon, good evening, because that may be our audience anywhere in the world. Today, Ellen Damaso is my guest. She's a speaker, author, mentor, and has her own business. And it's going to be an interesting show because it's in an area that we don't think of very often with regard to who we are and how we are seen by others. So with that being said, Ellen, please join me.
Hi, Red. Thank you.
Where are you at in the world today?
I am actually in Austin, Texas, and it's been cloudy like the last 7 days, but it's sunny today.
Well, I'm in the Houston, Texas area, so we're both in.
Okay.
Okay. That being said, as I was reading your biography, it says your trauma, domestic violence kind of transformed your life in a way, and that's kind of the beginning of, I guess, the new Ellen. And everything has developed since then. So why don't we start with whatever you want to share about that early traumatic experience you had that's of value to the audience and what you took out of it and what you did.
Yeah, so I kind of refer it to Ellen 10.0. So it's been a huge progression and step into empowering myself when I had spent decades and decades living in trauma, having that be my story and having that define my life, what I wanted in life, what I got in life. I really didn't get anything that I wanted. I didn't think that I deserved any of those things. And I lived that false lie to myself for over a few decades. And once I told myself, you know what? I do deserve good things. I do deserve a different life. And this isn't all that my story is. I decided to take back my power and really make the decisions to put me in places where I could make decisions to empower myself, to empower others, to be able to be more wise and to live outside of that trauma filled life and identifying that. And I've even gone through trauma informed training to the point where I'm like, okay, how do we identify trauma in the workplace, in our profession, in our personal lives, and see what language do we need to use to further grow our first professional and personal goals to be outside of that trauma. We all do have trauma. I mean, big T traumas, little T traumas, and we need to learn how to interact with others and get things done and get our points across and communicate where our trauma isn't all that's heard. So with that, I really empower myself. And I mean, I have this beautiful skyline back here now. 2 years ago, this wouldn't have been my story. 2 years ago, I didn't think I was worth hearing. I wasn't worth someone being listened to or even on a podcast. But then I took a look deep inside myself under all of that gunk and like lies and was like, you know what? There's a beautiful person here, and there's a beautiful person in each and every one of us. And it's like, how do we uncover that? How do we unshed those layers of the onion and find that true deep person that has the wisdom, that has the knowledge, that has the story, that can tell others, hey, this is what I went through and this is how I navigated it. How can we do that for ourselves?
Okay, so an event happened. It took you a while to adjust. It took you a while to assess where you were at, where you wanted to go, and then you gradually started making some incremental steps in that direction. And lo and behold, success abounded down the road. Uh, One of the things that I was reading about you on your background there is that you try to improve yourself 1% each day in many areas. And I can truly appreciate that. Somebody comes down with a cold, or they come down with, COVID, or it doesn't matter, and they're feeling lousy for a few days. And then all of a sudden, they get back to almost being normal, then they're normal, and they don't appreciate just being normal on a regular day, because it's just not something that we live in. But when you're faced with drama at work, at home, with your spouse, with children, with your business, with traffic, I mean, there's so many things out there. And at some point in time, it piles up and piles up and piles up. Even though they're just little dramas, at some point in time, drama can become traumatic because they're just overloaded with it. So, was there any special way that after you started improving yourself that you found one way of stress management or stress relief that worked better than another?
So there's a few things. So mindfulness is very helpful. So being able to be in the moment, not just I changed my list to, instead of to do, it's being, to be. Like what do I need to be? What I need to be in the moment. That's the most important thing. Life will bring the things you need to handle as you go through your daily life. I mean, certain people will call, certain opportunities will pop up, and that will lead you in a direction of where your opportunities are going to go. Yeah, we can make our opportunities, but the things that we, plant seeds for a couple months ago may show up 3, 4 months later. And it's those continually, dropping seeds here and there and finding those little motivations to keep going throughout the day and just trying new things. I mean, I went surfing in March. I'm in my 40s and I'm over here surfing with my son in Nazaré, which is in Portugal, where they have 100-foot waves, and we were in the bay part of it. So I did those things that, like, oh man, I could just say, oh no, I don't want to do that. I've never done that. I've never tried that. Like, I suck at it. Like, how could I be good at it? But those kinds of things, trying to see different things. And I played my first game of chess in like over 20 years when I had taken a course in chess when I was in middle school at a magnet school. And so just doing all these new and different things and not having the same day quota, they say same stuff, different day, right? And it's like it doesn't have to be like that. We can create new opportunities for ourselves. I tried pickleball, and now I'm running. I haven't ran since like high school. And so it's just those little steps where we tell ourselves, yes, I can do this thing. Yes, I can identify something I haven't done. And it doesn't matter if I'm good at it or whatever, which matters what I see myself as. And like I see myself as someone to create opportunity for myself. I see someone who's going to succeed at whatever I do. And I keep trying things and I keep going through things. So I think having that mindfulness to be able to try new things, and then also having the tool sets to identify your thoughts and know which thoughts serve you and don't serve you in your daily life.
You mentioned the term mindfulness a couple times. It's something that's been in vogue here the last, well, even since just before COVID, and then COVID hit, and it was one of those mechanisms to help cope. Tell us, how did you begin to achieve mindfulness, and how do you know when you're actually kind of in that state?
So to achieve mindfulness, a lot of times I will actually close my eyes. I wear glasses and shades sometimes, so I can just kind of close my eyes a minute or two and reground myself and not pay attention to the noise out there and just have the thoughts just go through, and they're not racing thoughts. They're not like, what do I need to do? What haven't I done today? It's just like, just being, I mean, in the car and seeing things that drive by, or just, be very observant of what's going on around. People watching is a great example of mindfulness, is just watching these people come by and just seeing them for who they are. I mean, I do fashion empowerment, so I look a lot at their outfits, and then just seeing them as they go by, wondering what their story is, and just watching this whole tapestry of life. Even I stare out the window, I mean, for hours, from my couch, and it's the thought of, I am this whole person, right? Like, I have this whole story, but then you look all around. I mean, we have this huge universe, and like, how many people can I see, you know, are part of this, day that I have, to be able to just watch and be like, I'm just that small piece in this world, but also at the same time, you can be a bigger piece when we share our impact and we allow people in our lives, and when we let others direct us and teach us and learn from us. And my goal is to meet as many people on this planet as I can. And there's a mindfulness of letting others just be around you and just allow them to be themselves without judgment, without anything. And it's just like embracing what's to come, embracing the stories that you're told, and share with others.
Let's take one more step down into that mindfulness range, that mind body control thing. You talked in some of the things I read about you about uh, you're trying to put out a message of hope and healing and self love. But when we get to the self love, we have another expression, self esteem. Uh, do you see them being exactly the same thing or nearly the same thing? Because a lot of times people can emanate a negative self-esteem, but they have a problem recognizing that's what they're doing. We're going to get down into that with your branding and other things, but just within their own mind, the self-love. How do you go about really recognizing that you might have a problem and making a change?
Well, self love and self esteem, I mean, there's the language that we tell ourselves, right? Like, a lot of people are, I can't do this, I can't do that, I've never done this, I've never done that, why would I do this? Or someone else can't do that, I can't be good. Like, there's a lot of should nots, and even shoulds, like, you should be doing this, and we shouldn't be doing anything. You can should all over yourself about what you want to do in life, but it's really about embracing yourself, because who else is going to do that? I mean, you're living your daily life. I mean, yeah, we have friends and family and partners and things like that, but at the end of the day, you're in your skin 24/7. And if you're not giving yourself that love, it doesn't matter what else is coming in, because that's just, like, kind of like you have an armor and you have things coming in and it just bounces off. It's like you can't absorb the love that you have if that's not something you have for yourself. And for self-esteem, it's really about not doing the thing, but being the thing, and being that person that you wake up every day and, you know what, I'm going to work for you, I'm going to do the things I need to do, I'm going to show up for myself, because that's what I want to do for myself. And, good or bad, whatever decisions you make, it's about embracing yourself in that context of whatever that comes along. And going back to the whole 1% of every day, is just like, yeah, maybe I didn't like what I did today, maybe I didn't like the decisions I made, but there's a new day coming. And sometimes I break my day up into 4 quarters, right? So, like basketball and football, I have 4 quarters. And yeah, the first quarter may be terrible, second, third, and fourth may be even better. It's up to us to change that daily narrative to say, you know what, I am proud of myself. And even if it takes little steps sometimes, I mean, that was like huge when I was depressed. And I mean, I wouldn't be out of bed till 6 p.m., but I took little steps to love myself to create that space, and knowing where you're lacking and knowing that you're not feeling that love is important, so you can move forward, so you can bottle that up and give it to yourself, every day that you need.
Okay, why don't we get into your entrepreneurial world, your fashion styling, wardrobes, branding, and all that stuff. So, did you have a background in any kind of fashion or wardrobe industry before you decided that's where I want to make my fortune?
No, I didn't. So I am actually an engineer, and that's what I had gone to school with, and that's, the mentality, okay, I had back then was like, okay, you get this career, that's what you're supposed to do forever and ever. And I actually left my engineering career because my dad was sick. So went back home to Pensacola, which is a small town in Florida, and there's no engineering careers there. And so I just kept searching and searching on the internet of like what to do. And then I found a wardrobe styling class out in California. And I was like, well, I want to do that, right? Like that sounds fun. I mean, I've always loved clothes, but I hadn't done anything with it. And it was just like, let's do this. Let's try this. So I went out to Cali, went to the school, learned a lot of different tips and a lot of things about the industry and how to promote. And I came back home with my tool set, and I started doing photo shoots. I started doing um, fashion shows and styling models, and I started my own resale shop. We had a building right next to my mom's. She has her Oriental store she's had for 50 years. So I've grown up with that entrepreneurship mentality, and I had my resale boutique there. And so I really learned about, thrifting and about resale and about all these different clothes and how to put outfits together, because it's not a skill that we're born with. I mean, we don't come out of the womb like in our nice, tailored suits and, nice shoes. We don't come with those curated wardrobes to say, hey, this is how I want to present myself to the world. And so for a long time, I did photo shoots and, consulting on wardrobe styling. And then as I got through this piece of empowerment and seeing that I could create these outfits and go to these interviews, because I continued to interview for engineering, I could continue to present myself in these situations like I had it all together, because I had these thrift stores that I knew how to find the pieces, knew what pieces were good quality. And so I realized that empowerment piece of it was so important, that it wasn't just an outfit. It's about us being able to use style as a language and as armor to protect ourselves against challenges. So I really saw, when we have the right outfit, when we have the right, curated wardrobe day after day, and we show up for ourselves, things fit, we're feeling confident, and you can style anybody, like anybody, if they find the right outfits and the right sizes and the right looks for themselves, can make themselves be 100 times better looking than they did with baggy outfits, things that didn't fit, things that didn't complement them, or hiding who they are behind these baggy clothes. And so I really put together custom programs. I use a lot of AI, and I talk to different, clients, all throughout the world pretty much, and give them advice on, okay, this is what you should do for your body type, and then what are you looking for? And that's the key to it, is helping others to find what's their story and how do they want to be perceived and what do they want to bring out into the world.
When I was in Vietnam, we had R&R in Hong Kong. I went in, had a bunch of clothes made, and I didn't know anything about what I needed. However, the following year, I'm still going back over there being deployed, and I go into Thailand. We're in Utapao, and one of the places I go to is Pattaya Beach. No, it was in Korea. But anyway, I walk into this place and I said, yeah, I'd like to have this. He said, no, you don't understand. Actually met me outside, shook my hand, says, hi, I'm Tom, or whatever his name was. I'm your personal tailor. Okay, that's nice. Come on in and have a beer. And we're in there, we're talking, and the first question he asked me is, what do you have in your closet? And suits and shirts. And so I described it. And I said, what I came in for. He says, no, no, you don't understand. I'm your personal tailor. I'm going to tell you what you need. He did it very tactfully. And he says, this, at your point in time in life, this is what you must have as a basic wardrobe. And so he proceeded and made everything. I'd fly back into Korea later on. The Thailand clothes, to get back to that story, the main problem I had with Hong Kong is they used a thread that was deteriorating and everything pulled apart. So when I bought clothes in Thailand, I made sure they had done it with a much stronger thread. That's the Thailand Hong Kong connection. Again, I didn't know what I was doing. But when I finally get to Korea and the guy says, this is what you need. This is what, okay, I really still didn't understand. So if I'm going to an inner bling styling event and I don't know what I need, how do you help people decide uh, what you're wearing is your brand, and that's what's going to uh, excite you and your potential customers?
So when I go through a client consultation, I have a questionnaire that I put together. So, one is like, what do you do for work is one thing, and then how do you want to be seen on a personal level? So not just the professional level, because there's, a few parts of us. And so professional level, and like, what are the themes in your life? Are you wanting to feel empowered? Are you wanting to get a new job? Are you working as an entrepreneur and need to gain more clients? It's like, what is your goal? Do you want to be on more stages? And then putting together like your different interests. So are you into plaid? Are you into button ups? Where do you feel you fit in? And then we curate a wardrobe based on also your budget, and then what quality pieces you want to have, right? So there's a couple pieces that, oh, I can't live without a jean jacket. Oh, I need this trench coat. So kind of finding those pieces, and then also narrowing them down, like what brands resonate with you, because there's thousands and thousands of brands out there. So it's a bit of like, kind of leading you in the direction of, oh, you want this certain style, or you want this certain look and this certain feel, then maybe, recommend a few different brands that you can look at, and then choosing pieces, and then it's a matter of finding the fit, because right, like not every brand is made to fit every type of body. So we're not going to make ourselves feel terrible trying to fit into these size 30 pants when we really need these size 30 from this other brand, because not all brands are created equal. And once you like kind of find that niche of where your body type and where it fits you, then you can kind of narrow down to, okay, I want to stick with this kind of brand. And you build that wardrobe over time. And it's not something that happens overnight. Like, we don't just magically walk in and then we have a whole wardrobe that works every day for us. It's developing the pieces, it's understanding our body, it's understanding what our needs are, and making sure we're fulfilling those goals and staying within budget, because that's an empowerment part too. And sustainability, because we're able to say, hey, okay, this is the space that I want to be in, and really being able to curate and tailor that to your personal preferences, and what doesn't work. That's just as important to know as what does work, because we'll know, hey, we don't want to go down that road with this brand. Like, let's see what else things work for us.
I've always heard you want to dress for the next job that you want. And I really never realized that until I read a book called What Color's Your Parachute? And that was back in the 70s. I'm sure it's been updated several times. But I never really understood until I'm in meetings and I'm looking at people's clothes. And Okay, well, I wonder why they. And sometimes we get stuck in a certain style, like in the military. You're very regimented on what you can choose, belt, etc. And so you come out of the military, you don't know that there's another world of fashion. Uh, and so there's a lot of things that change over time. What was appropriate in the 90s isn't appropriate today, maybe slight modifications. It sounds like what you're doing is you're finding out what is the need of that person, where does that person want to go, so you can fill the immediate need, but also address those little nuances that are going to get that person to the next step rather than mired where they're at right now. Is that a fair way of saying it?
Yeah, yeah, that's a fair assumption,
Okay.
and that's pretty how much I would that's a good summary.
Okay. So how do I develop myself in a luxury brand with regard to fashion? What would be something? I mean, when I dress up in my tuxedo, I have my top hat, I have my cane, I have about 7 different colors of everything I can put in there. But that's for one event. I can't wear that every day. But if I want
Mhm.
to look successful, I want to look confident. Obviously, the clothes are going to make me feel a little bit better. But what are some of those little things? I mean, we don't wear diamonds on our ties anymore, we don't wear cufflinks anymore. But what are some of those little tricks of the trade that separate the regular person from somebody just a little bit better?
So I would say accessorizing is always helpful, right? So, having a scarf in the winter or having, certain watches that like, so I have my like nice, luxury watch and a lot of times I cover it because I'm like, it's not for everyone else. It's for me. It's for me to feel this is my reward for all the hard work that I've done. And so being able to find the accessories, maybe it's a special ring that you have that you got, that has a story, and when you were serving in the military, like this location, and it means it represents something bigger than just a ring. It's, a sign of um, accomplishment in your life. And then also, I mean, the socks are a big thing now. Like, I mean, people get tailored down to your socks. I mean, you can get, pickle socks or like Dr. Seuss socks or any of those kind of socks to kind of be like your little fun thing that you add to your wardrobe. And if you want to show it, then yeah, but also it's like, okay, I have this outfit, but I have my little fun thing that I add to it, and it brings a part of your personality into it. And so having making sure the fit is really well and like tailored, like a good tailor is a must. Like you can't be without a good tailor because not all our clothes are going to fit that way, and not everybody is made to fit in those categories for each of those brands, and our bodies are different.
Okay, one of the things that I always concentrate on, or at least be aware of, is the color of my belt matches the color of my shoes. I'm assuming that's still in vogue today. And then actually having my shoes shined, so that they are not just a dull appendage at the end of my pants. Uh, are those still in vogue today with regard to luxury and
Yeah, yeah.
pants?
So keeping, I mean, you brought up a good point. So shining your shoes is always important, and taking care of these luxury pieces. So the thing with luxury, it's not fast fashion. So fast fashion, they take the ideas off the runway within couple weeks. You can have this in fast fashion, and then within 4 months it's in the landfill. Like that stuff doesn't last. But when you have like your nice shoes, you could go. I mean, I've had shoes for like tens and decades, depending on like what brand it is, and taking care of them, they'll take care of you, right? Like they'll be your staple piece, and like they'll last because that's what they're made to do. Like they've spent hundreds of years, with these companies, Gucci and YSL and um, all these companies that have been around for over hundreds of years that really create quality items, and it lasts. It does what it's supposed to, right? Like we call it the cost per wear, which is CPW. If you have a cost per wear that comes out to three, so you have like something that's $10 and you can only wear it one time, well, your cost per wear is $10. But say you have something that costs 100 and you can wear it 20 times, then your cost per wear is like $5. So you're getting more cost per wear, and that means that you're getting more out of it, right? You're not throwing these things out, or these things aren't, in the back of your closet just hanging out and not doing anything. The luxury pieces, we can design around them, and I can combine, thrift pieces with luxury pieces, right? So like I could have a belt that's luxury and then jeans that I thrifted, because it's easier to find your luxury brands and the ones that work for you when you're thrifting, and then you can kind of identify it. Like the worst thing is when you go to these places, you spend 30, 40, $50 on a shirt, and then you can't return it and it doesn't look good, and you can't use it over and over. So luxury really helps us to find pieces that work for us and that are going to last, and build our wardrobes around them.
Okay, wardrobe basics. Let's take somebody who just graduated from college, early 20s, may or may not be married, family. They're obviously going to go into some work environment, more than
Hmm.
likely indoors, more than likely in some kind of cubicle or whatever. That I think is kind of the world that we're looking at in most cases. I think working at home is gradually going away, but
Yeah.
the the basic person, let's say 25-year-old married, one kid, what does that person, he or she, need as a basic wardrobe that if you're going to go out and work 5 days a week, 9 to 5, whatever it is, what do they have to have in order to feel comfortable, to look good, and to be able to show their brand of who they are and what they want to be?
So first off, I would say like a white button-up tee that fits, right? So, and then you can style it in different ways. You can use vests, you can use jackets over it, you can add also pins and things like that. So a white collared shirt would be good. And then also, so now since you brought up COVID, and one of the things that changed is women wearing heels. Like it's not expected as much as it used to be. Like it used to be, okay, you're wearing heels in the office, you're walking down the street in New York, you have to have these heels. Now, if you have a good sneaker that's, polished and clean, you can kind of add that to any suit or um dressy outfit that you have, and then having a flat, for a woman, a flat heel, that's super comfortable that you can wear all day or that you can change in and out of. And for men, it would be a good pair of shoes. I mean, they have Hey Dudes, they have all these different kind of styles that you can choose from. And so having like a black brand would be helpful, a black brand of shoes. And then also some kind of like tannish leather type of shoe that's super comfortable that you can walk around in. So that would be, either men or women. And also having a jacket that you can throw on, that fits you to the T. I mean, if you need to get it like modified or anything, that's what we're talking about, a good tailor. So having that jacket to throw on for meetings with customers, or, going to lunch with a client and things like that. So you can put this blazer on or off depending on who you're meeting with and what the meeting is about. And then also having like a pair of nice earrings would be helpful for girls, like something subtle. And for guys, having a variety of button up and different prints that really speak to who they are. Because I think it's very important to also be unique. And so having those, kind of slight different colors or plaids or different kinds of prints is always helpful. Um, and having a belt, a universal belt that you can kind of wear. I have one, a Christian Dior one that flips, and it's black or white, just depending on what I feel like wearing that day. And so having those different belts is helpful too. And so accessories are really good to change up outfits, because you can kind of wear the same outfits and then change it up with different rings or different necklaces or different earrings. So I think that's a few of the points I would say.
Okay, we're getting ready to end the show here pretty quickly, but I want to go continue on down. We, I'll polish our shoes, but we also haircuts, ironed or what starch. In other words, you have to look clean, you have to look presentable, but you have to look professional. And those things are those little extra things that, you know, well, didn't you just get a haircut a couple of days ago? Or what? It kind of, you ask that question in your brain, or maybe that guy really needs. Anyway, we all kind of judge people on what we see, what they wear, uh, lipstick color. It doesn't make it, whatever it is. There's a whole bunch of things that we judge people on. So if we're trying to improve our wardrobe and we're not taking care of the rest of our body with nutrition, exercise, and other things that keep that little belly from rolling over the belt too much, those are things that we have to also concentrate on because that's part of our brand. And we're degrading our brand if we're degrading something outside of just the clothing. So, with that being said, I want you to tell us, how do people get in touch with you? Who's a good customer for you? And is everything in Texas, or you do stuff online, or what?
So I do work with people online, and my typical clients are usually about like 30s to 65-ish, women and men both actually. And most of them are trauma survivors, and we actually do intakes to figure out if we are the right person for the client and what they're looking to do and looking to achieve. And so, yeah, typically customers are mid professionals that have been around a while and that want to really curate and have the money to be able to be coached or do what I have as a thrifting with a purpose experience that I just started. It's a 45-minute experience with a 15-minute meeting in the beginning to figure out what is a game plan for people to go into resale and thrift shops in 30 minutes and have me with them access to via WhatsApp. So it's to promote sustainability, empowerment, and staying within budget. And also, you can reach me on Enabling Styling at in Instagram. That's my main social media that I have, and you can DM me there. You can also contact me on WhatsApp, and the numbers there below. And you can take a look at some of um, the feedback from past clients on my website. And yeah, it's just, styling is a great thing. And when you have it right, people notice and you get the things that you want when you are dressed for the part that you want to have.
Yeah, one last thing before we sign off, and I'll go over your information one more time for our audience. But something I thought was really neat is probably 3 decades ago. I'm driving and listening to a kind of fashion show, but it was dealing with color blindness. And there was actually a website back then that you could dial into as long as you had your camera or whatever you had.
Mm.
You would basically point your camera up at your wardrobe, your closet, and somebody somewhere in the world, 3 o'clock in the morning, doesn't matter, you would dial in and they would help you choose the color for the outfit that you're going to wear that day, because you don't know which tie goes with which or what color shirt goes. And I thought that was such a great service. It was free, and it's just a bunch of people all around the world that volunteered, and depending what time zone you were in, because literally it's just a matter of what you want to wear and then getting somebody's confirmation on it. I thought that was a really neat deal.
Yeah, yeah. So I do have that as well. I do have an element where we can base color on your skin tone um and your hair and eye color and things like that. And it's a recommendation, right? Like, but it introduces people to try things they never have tried, right? Like, oh, I didn't know I'd look good in a yellow color. Like, we don't run around and everybody doesn't run around in yellow, but like finding those key colors that work with your skin tone are important, and it gives people that confidence to help to keep going and like through that journey, because it's a journey that we're going to spend every day the rest of our lives trying to figure out what we need to wear. And the more mindful we can be of it and prepared, having outfits that do work, will shine every day.
Ellen, thank you so very much for your time. Ellen, again, Inner Bling Styling, INNER Bling, BLING, Styling, STYLING.com. For our audio audience, again, no dots or anything, just Inner Bling Styling. Same thing at Inner Bling Styling at Instagram, her primary social web. And her WhatsApp for the video people, we can see it. It's 850-583-0769. I repeat, 850-583-0769. Ellen, thank you so very much. Enjoy the rest of the year, the remaining days we have left, and truly enjoyed our today. Take care. Bye now.
Thank you, Red.
Okay, we're closing up the Wise Ones today on the USA Global TV and Radio Network. My next show is in about 18 minutes. It's called Talking Heads. And basically, I'm trying to do a one-shot show. Was for the last year and a half, 2 years. I've been doing 4, 6, 8 weeks on a particular topic. Now I'm trying to do one topic a week. What would I do? And so as I'm picking something out, if I found out I just had cancer, what would I do? Well, today's topic is health awareness. What am I aware of? How do I become aware? What would I do? And then that's what I'm going to share with the audience today. So with that being said, our next show is next year in early January. So thank you very much for joining us today on The Wise Ones. All the archived information is on USA Global TV on YouTube. And please join me if you can live next on Talking Heads in about 17 minutes or so. So with that being said, Red O'Loughlin signing off. Take care. Bye now.
In a world full of noise, misunderstandings, and interruptions, master the art of listening with Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck is the listening mentor of USA Global TV and Radio and the Amazon #1 best-selling author of Mastering the Power of Elevated Listening. Elevate your listening. Elevate your life. Join a global learning experience in person or via Zoom. Reserve your spot today. usaglobaltv.com/book-your-session or drjacqueline.thinkific.com. Join Dr. Kerbeck's listening courses or hire her to unlock deeper connections and authentic conversations.